This video is a follow-on from the previous two videos I did about the TikTok refugees and the little red book Rednote phenomena. If you haven't seen those videos, then I'd recommend you doing so before watching this one. Point number 7, people and the authorities. The next thing to say with regard to this phenomena is that it should show the difference between the people of a country and the authorities of that country. This is, in my opinion, a very important distinction to make. They are different and they should not be confused. By the by, I don't know of any authority in any country in the whole world which is actually working for the benefit of the people. Point number 8, propaganda. This phenomena should show how much propaganda is pushed on the ordinary people by authorities with their agendas, endeavouring to shape perceptions of the people. This is as true in the States as it is in China. The funny thing is the Americans were not aware of it until they migrated to the Little Red Book. Another way to say this is that they only just got wise to it. Better late than never, perhaps. The fact that it took the Americans so long to see this reality should show the level of mind control in operation. If anyone is interested, I did a video recently on my BitChute channel and my Substack about mind control and how it works. I should say that this has been done as part of the divide and rule strategy so beloved by our overlords. When the ordinary people of the world are divided, they are more easily controlled. The converse is also true. When they are united, no power can withstand them. As we shall be seeing when the Great Awakening that is taking place really starts to gain momentum and authorities are then overthrown. Point number 9, censorship. There is censorship on the Little Red Book. Chinese people are aware of what they can and cannot say. People on the Little Red Book refrain from talking about politics or other controversial topics like religion and drugs. Some Chinese people have told the newcomers what is appropriate and what is not. Maybe these people are little pinks, as they are known in China, members of the CCP who push the party line. Anyway, as you are all no doubt aware, there's an internet firewall in China. Chinese authorities prevent the citizens of China from accessing Western social media apps like X and so forth. People have to use a VPN to access stuff beyond the borders of China, and many people do. As for the flow of information in the opposite direction, for people accessing apps in China, it's easier, although some Chinese apps require a Chinese telephone number. Little Red Book catered for those Chinese people who are not living in China, the Chinese diaspora. The expats, call them what you will, it helps them keep in touch with Chinese culture, etc. That was up until the past couple of weeks. Now people from all over the world, including non-Chinese people, can use it. Back to censorship. It would be interesting to see what transpires to any Western content creators who violate the rules. My guess is that they would be blocked. Americans could experiment if they want. Simply try talking about the pandemic lockdowns, blank A4 paper protests, or Winnie the Pooh, or Tank Man, or just post a picture of the last two I mentioned. But maybe you should set up a different account because you'll probably get blocked. All this recent activity no doubt has created a bit of a headache for the American and Chinese authorities. Chinese authorities have scored some points as a result of what's happened recently. And American authorities have lost points. Direct comparisons have shown America that America is not the greatest country in the world. And nor is China, by the way. It's going to be interesting to see how the situation develops. The American TikTok has recently reopened and Americans have gone back, but some have stayed on the Little Red Book. As the cross-cultural exchange continues, I dare say that as time goes on, Americans will naturally start to venture into certain areas which are deemed sensitive in China. This will also prove interesting and enlightening to some. For me, it's going to be interesting to see how the Chinese authorities react. Are they going to try to crack down on and block TikTok refugees? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the netizens then react if they do, the Chinese people as well as people in other parts of the world who have been using the Little Red Book. The TikTok refugee phenomenon might well turn out to be something fairly big, whose impact is far-reaching. I think that we are living in a time in human history where ordinary people of the world are no longer prepared to accept the bullshit the authorities want to impose on them in any country, West or East. In the future, I think historians will point to the creation of the internet and the information revolution as their undoing. I saw one video where an American said, open quotes, "They opened up a whole Pandora's box with this shit," close quotes. I agree. I think they've made a fatal mistake. As regards China, I think that the firewall in China has just been breached. In the late 1980s, Hungary allowed some Eastern Germans cross the border and find freedom in the West. It wasn't long after that the Berlin Wall came down and the USSR dissolved. I think we're seeing something similar happen here. I think the dam will fail at some point in the future. I foresee the end of the CCP in China, in part because of this, but mostly because of the failures in the Chinese economy. The Chinese people have thus far accepted the totalitarian rule of the CCP regime in exchange for economic prosperity. But when there is a systemic failure in the world economy, then that deal is no more. I did a video about this recently, which you can find on my BitChute channel. I hope then that the Chinese people will rise up and overthrow their overlords. Goodbye, Winnie the Pooh. I live in hope because when that time comes, we can live in a better, safer world. Information will flow in all directions. In the next video, I'll focus more on economics. Wise up and rise up.